Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry I'm a little bit late. I actually wanted to get started about like 5 minutes ago, but I figured, hey, better late than never, right? And there was some interesting stuff that's actually coming out. We're starting to get some news out there. Thank goodness, right? So we're starting to get some leaks. And this is something that I kind of predicted would happen, that we would get more and more leaks as this sort of happened. And I was very careful to kind of go over this. This is something that I was actually talking about not too long ago when it comes to Microsoft being able to go out there and do some of these games that we've been expecting. Now, this is something that we could have been able to see a while ago. It was rumored, and you guys will probably remember. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm live now. Please like and share it out if you wouldn't mind. We're going to get into this because there's a few cool leaks that I wanted to talk about. But the first one that I wanted to talk about was this Perfect Dark leak, which I got a big shout out to the finest, right? He's in the chat, I believe, still right now as well. This guy sends me a lot of these links and stuff to these stories, and I'm very appreciative of that because lately, for the most part, I don't have as much time as I used to do a lot of the content and stuff like that. So I do think that this is, I'm very appreciative of people that help me out and support me and things like that. So if you guys wouldn't mind liking and sharing out and stuff like that, I would really appreciate it. This is pretty cool stuff because what he was talking about was the Perfect Dark, right? So here's the thing, right? Everybody knows I'm down on Microsoft, or they assume I'm just down and hate Microsoft, which is not the story at all. I actually love Microsoft, and I want them to have amazing games for everybody. So the rumor is Perfect Dark, Fable, Halo Infinite, MechAssault as launch titles for 2020 for the next Xbox. And if that's all true, I'm sure, yes, they need new IP, and I'm sure we're going to get a couple. But that launch lineup is incredible. That you can launch a Halo, Fable, and a reboot, The Perfect Dark. I think that would be incredible. And I think that just goes to show that, good things come to those that wait, right? Like, I realize that Microsoft still has a long way to go for a lot of people. And, they got their hands in so many different pies. For me, I just feel like what Microsoft is doing, they're playing a long game. And, you got to be incredibly, patient to be able to kind of see that or enjoy that, right? Like, just look at what they have their hands in so many pies right now. And I know I mentioned this on, MNC, I think yesterday. It's really unbelievable how much uh, money and how much influence Microsoft has, right? Like, so they want it to be set up to where no matter what happens next generation, they win, right? Like, that's just what their idea is, right? Like, no matter what happens, they win. And a good idea that kind of that as people filter in, and I'll get into the Perfect Dark stuff and go over the details, which I linked in the description, so you guys could check that out. But basically, what happens is Microsoft, they've teamed up with Sony. They're doing the Azure stuff right now, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that it really goes to show that Microsoft is very far ahead of Sony in terms of their online and their structure and stuff like that. But there's also this rumor today that Microsoft is going to offer a streaming service powered by Azure to Nintendo. So, according to an industry insider, and this is like breaking news today. Like I said, today happened to be a big news day, right? And thankfully, I'm here because I'm thinking about doing just calling this like Crappy Monday podcast or something, like Crappy Mondays or something like that, where I do this because I've been doing it for the last few Mondays, probably around the same time where I do and then cover the news, and I just kind of do a solo podcast by myself, just talking the news and interacting with you guys. I kind of like that. So actually, according to this, last week it was confirmed that Sony and Microsoft are working together to improve game streaming technology, but it looks like Nintendo is also looking to work with Microsoft to launch their own streaming service. Analyst David Gibson recently revealed that Nintendo is currently looking to work with Microsoft to offer its own streaming service in limited regions. The service is apparently going to be powered by Microsoft Azure. So according to David Gibson, it seems it's more than likely for Sony and Microsoft to be the streaming winners again, despite new entrants. Where does that leave Nintendo? Likely agreement with Microsoft and perhaps Sony to offer their streaming services on Switch. But also Nintendo itself is also looking to work with Microsoft Azure to offer its own streaming service in limited regions, Japan, US, etc. So, as already mentioned, Nintendo isn't the only company looking to work with Microsoft to improve streaming service, because as we talked about, Sony recently announced their partnership with Microsoft, which apparently this announcement really took a lot of the Sony workers by surprise. They weren't expecting this, right? They apparently this was something completely out of left field, and they really kind of weren't expecting this at all. So Sony and Microsoft are working together to develop cloud solutions, and they said that they're going to be able to do some things like that. So I find that to be very interesting because that's something that I thought we would never see. And hey, what's up, Zombie Killer? What's up, Xbot? Hey, man, I appreciate it. You know what, Xbot, man, I gotta say this, man. Xbot is probably one of the coolest people I've met in this community. As far as I know, never has a bad word to say about anybody else. Always there. And if he's not there, he gives you plenty of heads up. Really true guy. Does a really great podcast with Next Podcast. I like doing that show. In fact, he's got such talented people on Next Podcast. I don't see why it isn't more successful. I actually use some of the people for Next Podcast, including Xbot, for Xbox Nation on Wednesdays, just because it's such a stellar group and they've all got such great opinions on gaming. So really great stuff. Hey, what's up, TLR9? Next Doc says Crapgamer, Perfect Dark, Fable, MechAssault, all those games have been gone for so long, over a decade. By 2020, they are practically new IPs. Pumped if true. Next Doc, see, you're like me because you've been in my chat for the last month or so where I've been raising hell saying, you know what? Microsoft really needs to come out with some new IP. But the truth of the matter is that's very, very important. But they also got to, you got this stable of great IPs that people have been asking for. And if this stuff is true, then wow, that would be fantastic. I really feel like Microsoft is onto something, and this would go a long way in winning people over because you would see a commitment there. And I'm going to get into, some of the details on this Perfect Dark, and I really think that it's something that a lot of people are going to be excited about. I know I am. Now, if you've listened to my show before or heard any of the stuff that I've talked about on Crossfire or, MNC Mornings or MNC Show, excuse me, then you'll understand why this is not really surprising to me. I've already talked about the rumor that Perfect Dark is in development for a reboot. It's going to be a gritty third-person game, right? Johnny Metal, he says, yo, Crappy, been watching your channel for about a year. You're on the ball with the latest news. Listen, I like to there's always something going on, and I like to kind of talk about the news and have a good time with it. I like to, I get hell for some of my titles and stuff. Fair enough. But I feel like that's part of my creative process, and that differentiates me from anybody else. A lot of people can sit there and parrot the news and go, well, today there was this breaking rumor that I'm boring and Perfect Dark Reboot is going to come out, and I have a lot of gamer score, but I'm intelligent and giving you the news as you're hearing it now. Please, I'm boring and extra boring, but Perfect Dark would be a great game to reboot. Like, that's bullcrap, right? I don't want to be that guy. I want to be entertaining and funny, and I want to be kind of in your face and just have a good time. I'm even contemplating sort of redoing something, maybe going on camera for a change, if I can get a good setup behind me, and doing maybe a once a week show. Like maybe this show would be live with me on camera or something like that. I think that would be fun. I think it'd be fun for everybody. And, I would like to be more at the forefront. I feel like in order to grow or do something different, like here's the thing, I've been doing like this YouTube stuff for, a good number of years. I believe 2013, late 2013, I started. So 6 years. I know people have done it longer, but I feel like there comes a point where you got to change things up a little bit. And I feel like the next obvious change for me would be to do a little bit of stuff in front of the camera as well. I have no problem with that, man. Most people have already seen pictures of me. Hey, I'm a big guy. Who cares? There's plenty of big guys on YouTube to do stuff, but I feel like it'd be a little bit better connection if I did that. And so I really do think that that would be like a lot of fun. And if you guys are just joining me, please like and share it out and things like that. I would appreciate it. Sometimes YouTube isn't quick with the sharing, but I would really be, appreciative if you guys could do that for me. So this Perfect Dark stuff, right? I'm very, very interested in hearing more and more about this. I just feel like this is going to be exactly, man. Us big guys got to stick together. Um, you know, but this Perfect Dark rumor, right? This was something that just popped up, and I gotta say, Perfect Dark is my jam, man. I like Perfect Dark. I think it's a fantastic game. Let me take a quick drink of something real quick. It's one of my favorite games. I loved it on the Nintendo 64. I thought it was okay on the Xbox 360, right? The launch game on the 360. That's how long it's been. 2005, we had a new Perfect Dark, and it looks like we might have one in 2020. That would be a 15-year layoff. Now, you need a reboot for that, right? And I've been saying this for a long time. I'd heard the rumor that they're going to reboot this game in a third person action kind of adventure shooter way, the way almost like a Tomb Raider, right? Like that would be exactly what Microsoft is looking to do here. So here we go. I'm going to jump right into this. For years, and I linked this article, it's been rumored that the Perfect Dark game, the reboot, was going to come, and we haven't heard anything from it just yet. And now there's a new rumor that looks to change that. According to an industry insider, there's indeed a Perfect Dark game in development, a reboot to be more precise, and it may be revealed at E3 next month on Microsoft stage. The rumor notes that the reboot will be in third person rather than first person and will not be developed by Rare. It's going to be supervised by them. In other words, it's going to be a similar situation to the upcoming Battletoads game or Killer Instinct. If you guys didn't know that, both those games were kind of, I guess, supervised by Rare, but were made by other studios, and to some success. I've got to admit. The insider claims to be 100% certain that the game is in development. They aren't confident that we'll see it this year because it's still a little bit off. In fact, the rumor seems to suggest it will most likely be revealed at could be this E3 or next E3. But as for Rare, the alleged insider claims that Rare is working on a new IP that we won't see until next generation. Again, I always say this in any rumor video or stream that I do or show. You have to take all these rumors with a grain of salt. But Microsoft knows that we need to see some games, and I think that they're going to take a little bit more risks this generation or this year than they normally would, just because I think that people are being extra, like me. People are being a little bit extra out there with how they look at Microsoft right now, right? They want to see something to make Xbox worthwhile. So I do expect to see some new things and some changes and things like that from Microsoft in order to get people excited about the future and things like that. MechAssault is also rumored. What's up? That is something that is rumored as well. Sounds like Rare is getting a bigger role than just first party dev. Rare's had a couple teams for a while now, man. We haven't seen anything come from them. Nextdoc says being big is relatable, bro. You're an everyman. You know how many gamers really look like prime Brad Pitt. Here's the thing, man. I originally, man, like I think now that I'm more kind of middle road, I'm not exactly 100% Xbox, not 100% PlayStation. I just kind of can enjoy the games on everything. I feel like that I'd be a little bit more accepted. Plus, if I could go on screen, I could be able to show off some of my collection, which is something I've always wanted to do. I've always admired, like I said, because I think console warring is coming to an end. So that point and those channels that really kind of rely on that stuff, I don't know what they'll do. I've always looked up to sort of these channels. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy, Metal Jesus Rocks. He does a cool channel where he shows a lot of his retro collection and stuff like that. I've always kind of wanted to do that. When I started, I envisioned myself almost like an angry video game nerd type. Like, I really liked how he was able to do that character really well. And I was like, hey, I can do something like that because I like Howard Stern and Bubba the Love Sponge, and maybe I can get, and it worked, right? And people still use that to this day. The problem is there's so many rules and there's so many different things and, bullying and all this kind of stuff. Like, you can't really get away with it. And for me, I felt that I wanted to be a little bit more genuine with what I'm talking about. So I stopped kind of doing that shtick a while ago, although you can still find it on various YouTubers and things like that. And I think that's cool because everybody's got to have their own hustle. And for me personally, I just want to talk about video games, and I've got a huge gaming setup, and I would love to like show it off and talk about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really would love to kind of do that. And I have a camera and lighting and all the stuff that I bought a while ago, but it's going to take until I can move because I'm moving with a girl. Well, here's the thing. Okay, Swain. he says, "Hey, crap, what's going on with the Splinter Cell series that I thought the new game was coming out?" Okay, so here's what happened with that. Supposedly Splinter Cell was being made and it got canceled. And what I heard from somebody that gave me the name Xbox One X, right? So I know a lot of people will go, "Oh, well, crap's full of crap," right? But you could go back and check the records, man, on that. I had the Xbox One X name month before it actually became official from this one person who actually happens to be a fan. And you can't really divulge a name, but I got told that Splinter Cell 100% will not be on Microsoft stage. So I'm going to take that as factual that we will not see Splinter Cell on Microsoft stage this E3. Now, that's not to say that Ubisoft won't have some kind of reboot or something like that down in the works, or that they could be working on something new right now. But from what I understand, there is no new Splinter Cell that's being worked on at this very moment, or that's going to be on the E3 stage right now. So I wish that they would. Here's the thing: Ubisoft is doing incredibly well with what they already have, right? So you have to figure what incentive would they have to do a new Splinter Cell. I don't know. Like, they want to do games as a service, so the finest says, "Please let the Fable rumor be true. I want it so bad. Microsoft, make it happen." I heard Microsoft contemplated doing something with Fable last E3, but held off. So if I had to guess, I'd say I'm 95% sure that we're going to see Fable teaser at least this E3. So that would be very exciting to look forward to. I love Fable. It's probably my favorite. Fable 2 might be my all-time favorite RPG, right? I love that game so much, and I think that it's just such a fantastic game. I know that some people had some issues with it, but I really, really just thought it was well done, and I love the story and I like the ending where you could like choose the three endings. Of course, like most people, I did like you kind of can do all three. You just save it at a particular point, and then you change it. I think you get 50 gamer score for doing each one of the three endings, and I was very quick to kind of do that. And you know what? I enjoyed that game so much. I enjoyed Fable 3 as well. I thought it took some steps back, but overall, I thought it was really good. And I thought what they were able to kind of accomplish was, a lot of fun. So hopefully, Playground Games can capture some of the fun, but also do it in their own style a little bit. Because I feel like, much like the Coalition with Gears, I think you have to capture the essence of Fable before you can do too much to change it around. Just my opinion. I know that they probably, I mean, Fable is Fable, right? I just feel like you have to be able to do Fable before you can make too many changes. Like the Coalition proved they can do Gears, and now they can change it, right? They're allowed to do that. I feel like 343, they've proven, well, in 2 games, the first Halo 4, they proved they can do a single player game for Halo really well. Halo 5, they proved they could do a multiplayer game really well. Now they just got to bring it together, and they can change some things, and I feel like they're able to do that. They've earned that right to be able to do that, in my opinion. So I feel like Playground Games will have to be able to do that. There's over 250 watching. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, share it out. I really appreciate it. Let's see. No, dude, listen, I've been hearing about this particular Perfect Dark for a while, right? Third person makes sense. Look, Microsoft is all about inclusion. They're all about strong women in gaming, right? Like, just look at the way Microsoft does things, okay? So if you look at Recore, right, that's a newer Microsoft IP, strong women protagonists. I didn't like that game per se, but I feel like there is a story there that can be told if they invest some money and get a good engine, right? So there is that. Now, when it comes to some of their other games, even Gears, now there's going to be a woman that's at the head of that. Like, Microsoft likes to do that. So, they had deals in the past with Tomb Raider, right? They see the success of stuff like Uncharted. Why not make a drastic change with Perfect Dark and make her like an action adventure hero, sort of like the earlier Tomb Raiders, and make it more along those lines, right? So I think that makes a lot of sense. And we've been hearing about this for a while. I've been saying this for a very long time, that Microsoft would actually be able to do this as well. WR Cup says, hey, man, maybe since Phil is going to Japan lately, you think old Dreamcast Capcom games or reboots or remakes could come to Xbox next gen like Skies of Arcadia? I would love Skies of Arcadia. I know a little known fact about me. As you guys hit the like button when we close in on 100 likes, Skies of Arcadia is a game that I still have from my Dreamcast. And I didn't even I wasn't really well versed in what a JRPG was. I just found that game to be fun, right? One typical Latino says, what IP do you want a VR version of? I want to see VR Gears, because now I don't want that to take away from the regular Gears, mind you. I would just like a Gears VR experience, right? Like a basic Gears game where you're in the Gears universe with a chainsaw and all that kind of stuff. And the Locust, I feel like the ambience there would be amazing. Halo would be another one that I would love to see in VR, but don't replace. See, so many times people worry when they hear the word VR that it's going to replace something. You don't replace Halo or Gears with VR versions. That was the problem with Kinect, right? Instead of getting a new Fable, we got a Kinect Fable, and it replaced what we could have possibly got as a new Fable. You don't do that. What you do is you just make something of an offshoot. You make its own property. And I feel like that's what they need to do. And that's what they could do. For me personally, I just think that, VR is a really cool thing. I enjoy VR tremendously. I just think that a lot of people aren't sold on it, and that's fine. I feel like that's fine as well. But for me, I just think that you have to make it kind of an offshoot more than anything else. And that's what people really need to kind of think of in terms of that. So that to me is what you have to do. You have to be able to get that out there and to sort of get that out there. Yeah. So anyway, so anyway, also in addition to which I might add this link as well, since I'm going to talk about it. Thanks to the Finest for sending this. Microsoft is going to reveal a new MechAssault at E3 this year as well, which this is the same place actually that I linked the Perfect Dark one. So if you guys are that interested, before I get to go and add this one as well, go ahead and check that out. So according to this other rumor, Microsoft is gearing up to reveal a new MechAssault game at E3 next month during his presser. That's right, a new MechAssault. The rumor comes way of an industry insider who says there's a very high chance of a new game in the series in the works, and it's going to be revealed during the show. If you didn't know what MechAssault was, the first BattleTech game published on the original Xbox, developed by Day One Studios and published by Microsoft. The game was born when Day One Studios approached Microsoft about making an original BattleTech game built from the ground up for consoles, and Microsoft really liked that pitch. Back in 2002, MechAssault was released. I believe on my channel, I have an original MechAssault review where you can see some gameplay footage and stuff like that, because I like that game a lot. A sequel, MechAssault 2 Lone Wolf, released 2 years later in 2004. Both are considered part of a larger BattleTech universe. Now it's 2019. It's been, again, 15 years since we've seen a MechAssault game, and it seems like we could finally be getting a new one. So it looks like Phil Spencer has looked to the past a little bit. So if you didn't know this, right, this is what maybe brings a little bit of credence to this. If you didn't know, Day One Studios, who made MechAssault, is now Wargaming. The developer is best known for World of Tanks, which shipped in 2014 and is still being supported by the studio to this day. 2014 was a while ago, and presumably the studio has been cooking something up, and it might be a new MechAssault. We don't know. There could be another studios. There's other studios suggested that this could happen. Of course, all this could be taken with a grain of salt. While sometimes anonymous sources are gold mines, I think that the closer we get to E3, the more leaks that we get, the better chance we have of these actually being legitimate. And that's what we're gonna. We've been hearing about a new MechAssault for a little while now, so I do feel like that's something that we could probably get, and it would probably fit well with what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. If you think about it, right, MechAssault in Game Pass would work wonders, and the reason being is MechAssault could be used as a game as a service. You update it and things like that. Maybe you update it or reboot it. Oh, I see that, Definers, man. You just sent some another link my way, man. You're too kind, man. I'm overabundance of video material, man. So it's going to be a good couple days on crappy reviews. I'm just so excited by E3 now, man. I was already excited, and I know people didn't think I was because I was being hard on Microsoft I never changed who I was. I was always like, I'm an Xbox fan. I enjoy PlayStation as well, but I love Xbox, and I just want them to do better. And I know a lot of people don't like that, and so a lot of people were like, "Hey, screw you, Crap Gamer. You took all the hits for us for 6 years, where people made fun of you and harassed you and threatened you. And the minute you give Microsoft any criticisms, we bail on you." So, I mean, that's cool because that's life. And trust me, as I get older, I've realized, life takes more than it gives, especially at the older you get, and I think that's fine because one thing I did learn from actually enjoying some PlayStation games lately and unblocking people on Twitter and stuff like this is people are just people, and and 1 minute they'll hate you and the next minute they'll love you. And I think that's fine. I don't take it personally. And as long as I keep that mindset, I think everything will be okay. So, um, Zombie Plague says, "Crap, I would love to see Microsoft fight to get more Square Enix games. Most have always gone to PlayStation or Nintendo." Well, the good news is a lot of people are kind of going into that world, and I'm happy about it. I'm not a huge person that loves those type of games, but I'm happy that people will get to play them. Top Dog says, "Crap, will you be picking up Oculus Quest? It's the first standalone VR console." I don't know. Maybe I can get a review thing of that. I like console VR. I got to be honest with you. I am super excited. The thing that has me most excited about the PlayStation 5, and this sounds cheesy, is the VR. The fact that Sony is supporting VR right out of the gate next generation, possibly with a wireless headset, I think that's phenomenal. And I really, really am excited by what they're going to have to offer with the VR. A lot of people didn't think that they would be able to continue to do VR, and they're going to not only continue to do VR, but they're going to do high quality VR, like big AAA VR. They've already said that. So I'm very excited about that. Grabbed by the Ghoulies too. Nobody bought the first one. Nobody brought the first one. Pink Floyd says, "Looks like Microsoft Xbox are bringing back a lot of classic IPs. Fable, MechAssault, Perfect Dark, Battletoads." You're right, Crappy. Listen, nostalgia, as my good friend Mooch would say, is a hell of a drug. And, I agree with them 100%. That is something that people love. If you want to go back to a time when people looked at Xbox as a fun, hardcore gaming machine, right? Forget about Xbox One, right? And I'm not hating on Xbox One. The Xbox One X, hands down, the best console around, right? With that being said, their games this generation haven't been anything amazing. They've had some good ones, but nothing amazing. And when you think of the Xbox One, you just think of that botched 2013 reveal and the TV stuff, which, by the way, Sony announced their TV and movie studio deal today. So that's cool. TV apparently is okay if it's done by PlayStation. But I digress. For me, I think that this is one of those things that makes a lot of sense is you want people to go back and look at the new Xbox that's coming out in a positive manner, right? You want them to think Xbox 360, those great games, the great times we had playing with our friends over Xbox Live. Remember using the voice chat system, right? We we would disguise our voices and we would sound like chipmunks or we would sound really deep voiced if we were chipmunks ourselves. And they want that. They want people to get on board with this ability to, remind ourselves that Xbox didn't always used to be DRM and TV and no games, right? It used to be fun and hardcore and where people went to as an outlet to play their game. You were underground gaming, right? Like you could set your status to that. Xbox Live was still the cool thing, and it's still the cool thing. Look, the fact that Sony and Nintendo are going to be using Azure to shore up their services tells you that Microsoft has the best services. And I feel like that's very important going into next generation because Microsoft, no matter which console or whoever you support, Microsoft is going to win because they really sort of understand that, right? So we have to keep that in mind as we kind of go forward, and I'm very excited by that. Yes, Xbox launch needs to be impeccable. They can't screw it up. What they 100% cannot do is they cannot afford to let that be a situation where people can be confused by what they're doing, right? You can't be confused by Microsoft's message. You have to have that message on point, and you can't be confusing to anyone. You have to, be clear with what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, how it's going to work, where it's going to work, and why it's going to work. I feel like that's exactly what you've got to be able to do and pull off. You know, in my opinion, you've got to be able to, you know, get that stuff working, get that stuff out there, sort of to the masses, getting people excited just to see exactly what we're going to get. And you can't screw that up. You have that one chance, really, one chance. And I feel like that's exactly what you have to do. You have to have that one chance, and you've got to be able to successfully convey what you want to do for the fans. And I feel like that's what they're going to do. And I'm excited by that. I think Microsoft has had their fair share of lumps, excuse me. And now it's their time to shine. And I feel like they're going to be able to do that. Hey, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button and sharing this video out, you know, I would appreciate that. We get over 100 likes. Let me see. Crap, do you think this leak is the right way for them to do E3? Well, here's the thing. This isn't like necessarily these leaks happen, right? So I understand that. That's why, you know, I guess I'm trying to do a little bit more news, just breaking news oriented. So I put the name of one of the games in there and more. There was obviously a couple other ones as well that leaked, but I kind of wanted to not just go, oh, well, there's some E3 leaks that happened. Here's it. So Perfect Dark Reboot, that's going to interest a certain type of person. Microsoft has a certain way they have to go about it. And this is, I feel like you have to do old and new. And I feel like that's what Microsoft is going to do. So I do think that this is a very good smart to you know, to what's going to happen. Let's see. Crap. Do you think the new Call of Duty and Destiny 3 will be on Microsoft stage? If so, do you think Sony would still have marketing rights? Well, I hope that Microsoft can. I feel like Microsoft feels like it's on their shoulders to actually save gaming or showcase gaming now that Sony's not going to be there, right? And I feel like that's something that they truly believe. Like Phil Spencer, I honestly believe thinks that, right? Like, oh, it's on us. And I think there's going to be a heavy contingent of third-party games on there. But if you mix the third-party games like Halo and Destiny, or I mean Destiny, excuse me, and you know, Call of Duty, I think it makes sense because where else are these games going to be shown off? Like I know Call of Duty does its own thing, but I don't necessarily think Call of Duty will be on Microsoft stage because if I remember right, last year at E3, I'm not sure that Sony even did, or maybe there was just a trailer that they showed during their E3. So I don't think that realistically Microsoft will have Call of Duty this year. I wish they did because I'm hearing terrible things about Call of Duty next year, right? I heard that there's going to be Black Ops 5. And so I really think that what Microsoft is going to do, we could see a Destiny because Phil loves Destiny and Bungie's not tied to Activision anymore. So I do think that some of those rights and stuff have changed courses a little bit, but I don't know exactly how much and how far those things have happened. So with that being said, I do think we're going to see a ton of third-party stuff, but I think we're going to see a lot of first-party stuff as well, like Halo, Gears, Battletoads, Ori 2, possibly MechAssault, Fable. You know, and that excites me. You know, you get a Perfect Dark Reboot. What more could you ask for if you're a fan? Just in my opinion, that stuff. Excuse me while I take a drink. That stuff realistically shows that they're committed to making games, right? And that to me is something that Microsoft 100% needs to show. Hey, we're committed to making games. We're committed to the future. I know that buying the studio should do that, right? But for some reason, outside of the initial, hey, we bought some studios, I have not felt like, hey, this is something amazing. I love. I'm sold on what they're doing, right? Because you can buy a studio, and I think that's great. But the point that I think people got pissed at me was, I looked at what these studios are making, and most of the new studios they bought were busy making multiplats. And so we were still 3, 4, 5 years away from seeing anything. I think that now we're going to start to see. Remember, I complained about this and I said, Phil said, what, almost 3 years ago, he just signed deals for new exclusives, but they wouldn't announce them because they wouldn't be ready yet. I think that that's what we're going to start seeing, some of these deals pop up. And I do feel like we'll see stuff like Playground Games Fable. We'll see a teaser there because I feel like that particular developer has proven themselves to Phil and Microsoft that they can be trusted and that they can show off their game and it'll be good and they'll release it, right? I feel like that's what you got to do. And I feel like there is a point when it's too early to announce something for for E3, right? You don't want to announce. I do feel like even though I would love to see new stuff, there is a point where things are too early because let's face it, I know you guys don't understand this, but if you look at how gaming happens and in the gaming world, games get canceled all the time. We just don't know it. If you look at last gen in particular, Lionhead Studios had 2 teams almost the entire generation, and the only games we got pretty much from them were Fable games because they scrapped almost every secondary game. Same thing happened to Rare. They were working on multiple games last gen, and like even a kart racing game got canceled. The Perfect Dark Reboot got canceled. Cameo 2 got canceled. So many games get canceled. It makes sense to, wait a little bit. I get that. But at some point, you got to have a little bit of faith in your developers and your studios and your team that you actually go out there and want them to kind of, show what they can do and that you trust them. I feel like you've got to go out there and do that. So, Rodella says, you always made fun of Sony for showing games too early, but then praised them after. No, listen, I just said what I said, right? There is a time when it's too early, right? And I think 5 years out is too early. But I don't think 2.5 years is too early to show a game. Just my opinion. You've got to be able to do that. Mojo Blue says, yes, a very rushed Black Ops 5, totally out of cycle with Modern Warfare getting pushed back a year. Yeah, I'm not looking apparently Sledgehammer Games is screwed up really bad with what they were making. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Let's see, Crap. Do you think the rumors that Microsoft is buying 4A Studios are true? I'm looking into that. I'm asking around. I'm going to find out a little bit more before I run with that. So, Kales Taylor says, do you think there will be any racing games revealed at E3 because Forza won't be there? No, I think we're going to see Forza Horizon 4 DLC, and then that's it. Let's see. Haters, huh? Every bit of next doc, he says every bit of criticism regarding Xbox trash games is well deserved. Xbox OS is garbage, no themes, official gamer picks, etc. Xbox One is a poor console. Period. Yeah, listen, I think the Xbox One X is the best console, and it's got the worst operating system I've ever used. I can't even use Hulu without it crashing. Like once a day, I got to reset that thing. If you're in a preview program, God bless you, because you're going to have to reset that eventually at some point. You're going to have to factory reset your console. So I love the Xbox One X, but I do think that, man, how can a Microsoft who does Windows do such a piss poor job with their own operating system? So I've always had a love-hate relation with. I love the 360 dashboard. Man, that Blades dashboard was fire. Even the original Xbox dashboard was fire. How come we've had 10 different iterations in this generation and they're so laggy and slow and unresponsive? And I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. Yep. Next doc says, real fans, not fanboys, welcome critique, and we demand better. Some fanboys who have not experienced the quality and polish of PlayStation exclusives has no idea how poor Xbox games are. Yeah, I agree 100%. Eder says, hi, Crap from Mexico. Como estás, bitches? Yeah, sometimes my X doesn't play sound. I have to hard reset to fix. That sound glitch is a problem from one of their updates, right? And a lot of people message me because you'll notice on my channel I cover, I try to be helpful, okay? So if there's a warning, like I used to do 3 videos a day. Now I do 1 or maybe 2. But the late night one is usually tends to be something about the update system or something like that, because I always welcome people to message me on my Xbox Gamertag, which, by the way, if you guys are using Xbox Live lately, you probably are getting spammed by spam accounts all over the place, right? I keep getting spammed nonstop, 20 a day. Hi, hottie. What's up? I'm new to this. How you doing? And it's spam. It's ridiculous. How is there spam bots infiltrating Xbox Live? I don't understand that. It's another thing that frustrates me because I genuinely want to respond to fans, and it makes it more difficult to do that. So, there's a lot of work that Microsoft needs to do on the back end to shore up their stuff. And I think that, Xbox Live is great, but that experience on that OS isn't fun for me. Always having to reset my Xbox and stuff like that is bad. But a lot of people message me and go, crap, my hard drive, I had 30 people message me, right? And I get it. I used to be like an Xbox, one of those people that would chat to people and help them fix their Xboxes or whatever in my free time. Do like the Xbox support back when you used to be able to do the live chat years ago. I used to do that where you, hard reset your box. That's what you do. So I had about 30 people message me on Xbox Live complaining that their USB hard drives weren't being recognized. They were like, hey, crap, is my USB hard drive, is it bad? My Xbox doesn't recognize it. And at first I was like, I didn't know, because the first few was like, yeah, that's interesting. But as like a couple of days went on and I got like 30 of these messages, I looked into it, and it turns out that an update that Microsoft offered actually made it so it wouldn't recognize your USB hard drive. You had to unplug everything, and you had to hard reset. And you also, sometimes if that didn't work, you had to totally factory reset while saving your stuff. And thankfully, I think a lot of those have been fixed. But there's the sound glitches. There's so many glitches and things like that. Just so bad. I don't understand it. Let's see. People give Phil a break. He worked on Live and the new consoles, the X and the S, even the SAT edition. Now he's got systems and games. His E3 will be the best E3 ever. Listen, I gave Phil a break. I'm looking forward to this E3, man. I'm excited to see what they have. I'm really excited to see what they have, and I hope that I hope that they impress everybody, not just me. Right? I get it. There's when I started doing YouTube, man, there was, the BGST people or whatever. And I was doing videos over, talking about the news. And I'm not sure how many people were doing. There wasn't a ton of that going on, you know? And now everybody does it. And I think that's kind of cool. I just think that, sometimes it can get a little oversaturated, but overall, I think people are going to go to who they enjoy and who they think is funny or entertaining. And here's a fun fact about YouTube and gaming videos that people don't want you to know, right? Because a lot of people will want you to think that they're more informed or they're better at doing videos or whatever. And there's quality differences. Like you can't deny, if like editing, that's not my strong suit. I don't have time to do fancy edits anymore and things like that. But I feel like off the cuff, I'm probably one of the best talkers and one of the best people to do podcasts. And, I feel like so many times people get these huge egos when they do video game YouTube, and they're legit. It's not fake like how crappy reviews was years ago, right? Like where I had this inflated fake ego and was just a character. And people now just have this idea in their heads that they're so much more qualified to parrot the news than anybody else on YouTube, right? And that's always such the most laughable thing. Because here's the thing, me and any other YouTuber that springs in your mind right now, yes, that YouTuber that you're thinking of right now could be that one too, or that one. They're no more qualified to do YouTube and talk about video games than anybody else. All it takes to be a YouTuber that talks about video games is you play video games, you know some video games, you have an opinion about video games, and you have the equipment to talk about these games. Nobody's smarter than anybody else. Nobody knows anything that the other ones don't know unless you have a couple sources or something like that, or manage to make some friends in the industry. For the most part, everybody's just on the same page. And I always kind of hate how it is now, where it's not about the fun of it anymore. It's about other things. And, oh, I'm smarter than you. Like that kind of stuff really just gets on my nerves, because anybody can do this. It doesn't take a genius. You just have to play video games and like video games. So hopefully that's why, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you guys, now, like I said, there's a difference between shtick, like Crapgamer 4 years ago, and just being me now. Right. And there's always going to be people that I have never understood, like some of the people that have tried to disrespect. Like I've had no interactions with some of these people. Like what happens on my channel has no impact on their channel or anything they do. And, and yet they talk about me and they care immensely about what I talk about. And it's never the other way around, because as you guys might have noticed, I'm doing a little bit less videos now, less content. That's by design. I'm getting married. I'm busy. There's work. There's just so much going on with my life, and I don't live even at my home anymore. It's more of a hub in between work and my real home, which is with my fiance and like the future like stepkids and stuff like that that I have. Great kids. Maybe like they love what I do with YouTube, man. I was streaming Sea of Thieves with Moose the other night, and they were so excited to see that. And like I leave, I had to do this because it was one of those things. So I don't even have YouTube installed on my phone anymore, and Twitter and social media. I'll do that from home when I'm about to broadcast or something. But it got to the point where everybody was so negative about it and about me that I just was like, you know what? I don't need it, because I'm not thinking about these guys. They're thinking about me, and I don't want it to go both ways. If they're thinking about me, great. I'm in their heads for some reason, but it's never going to be the other way around. I just don't care enough. So that's basically how I think about it. And, and I've made some incredible friends. And like I said, I think I'm due up for a big change, because so many people have kind of copied what I do, and I think that's fine. But I feel like I can reinvent. Like I look at YouTube as a little bit like pro wrestling, and if you guys know me, know that I like pro wrestling. Bray Wyatt, you guys might know him, right? He has a totally new gimmick. Like sometimes you got to come out with a new gimmick, right? And I feel like I can do that and successfully do that. I feel like me coming on air and saying, hey, here's me, flaws and all, big guy, talking video games. I'm the everyman. If you want to talk smack about me, you better have the guts to at least put yourself on the air to do that as well, or you're a fraud. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can change my gimmick up and be effective and be fun and entertaining and continue to grow and have fun. But I feel like that's a change that I want to do and that I'm looking forward to doing. And I'm working on it behind the scenes right now. So if you guys are wondering, yeah, but I have to, I'm moving, I'm getting married, all that stuff should take care of itself within, the next 6 to 8 months. So, low end of average gaming says, if you want to laugh, I went from somebody who got pissed off at one of your videos to now appreciate your videos and has a good time hearing you talk about gaming. No, I appreciate that. You don't know how many people here's the thing. I'm not a narc. So a lot of people would come to me and message me, this person did a video about you, crap. What do you think about this? And I go, I don't think about it. I didn't watch it, but it's free advertising for me. And people didn't understand that, right? I never tried to do anything. I don't care that people do videos about me or talk about me. It's advertising for me. There's been people that have become fans of mine and friends that come from, I saw so-and-so's video about you. They really were pissed off at you, crap. And I wouldn't even have known about you if it wasn't for them. There you go. You advertise me. You didn't get anything back, because I'm never going to advertise you back. I'm never going to do a video back at you. So you're never going to get it both ways there. So I'm the only one that can possibly get anything. Sure, some people might be pissed off. Some people might unsubscribe. They might believe one side of the story. Let me tell you guys something that you might not already know. In life, there's always two sides to every story. And if you just believe one side, you're not doing yourselves any favor. Now, for my part, there's a lot of stories going on around me about me right now. And, for the most part, they're not true. But if I sit there and come on here and tell the people, like that's really just giving the other people shine. And I don't want to do that. So for me, the people that don't like me are always going to believe the negative no matter what. And no matter what my side of a story is, they're not going to believe it or care. And I think that's where the difference comes in. I'm smart enough to realize that and not to waste my time making drama videos going back at somebody. So, that's just how I feel about it. I'm not one of those people, I'm not offended by anything. I'll let you guys know that right now. There's nothing that offends me. I've been called every name in the book. A lot of these new age YouTubers get super offended by everything, but act like they're like the toughest people in the world, right? They're the ones that are out there making people upset and triggering people. And that the truth of the matter is they're just big softies, and they're just like, on the internet using their keyboards and acting that way. It's not a legit thing. So, don't count me out, guys. That's all I'm saying, man. Don't count me out. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I plan on, continuing to do it. I'm having fun. I want to continue to be able to do it and have a good time with it. And I feel like that's very important. Just in the general gist of things, right? Like having a good time is what it's all about. If you can't have a good time talking about video games, then there's something wrong with you. At the same time, I made this abundantly clear for as long as I can remember. I'm not going to worry about what somebody else is talking about on their channel. It has no effect on me, right? No effect whatsoever. I'm not that petty. I'm sorry. I mean, in real life, it can be a different story. I protect me and my own, but over the internet, man, it's just all funny. I actually laugh at a lot of the stuff because it's so nonsensical, and so many people are really are really just putting so many things there. You know what I'm saying? I just find it to be kind of funny. I really hope that people, if you're a fan, and I'm not saying you can't be a fan of mine and somebody else's as well, but I feel like part of the reason I want to go on air is because I feel like when people see me, they can see how genuine that I really am when I'm talking about this stuff, and how it's just kind of fun for me. And I don't really, I want to be entertaining in my videos. My titles, I get it. I'm trying to do a little bit of both, more news oriented with just like this one, right? Perfect Dark leaked. That's going to be at E3 probably, according to this rumor. But I also like doing how many people have been a fan of mine, and like they wouldn't have went to the video if it was something lame like the actual news was, right? But maybe they got excited for it after they heard of me be excited about it, right? Like an update, right? Fantastical, magical update. We get better 4K, right? Like that's fun. Oh, here we get an update. Yes, Microsoft is delivering an update for Xbox One owners, and that's you if you own an Xbox One, and it's an update. And thanks for watching. That's boring crap to me, man. I am an outgoing type person. I want to have fun. I just really, that's what I want to do, man. And I just feel like so many people from the beginning, and I'm actually surprised that anyone, and this is 100% true, anyone watches, man. I have so many people talk bad about me, tried to ruin me, threaten me, that anybody would come watch me. It's kind of amazing that like I'll still see my name in comments on N4G articles or whatever. Well, this will make crap happy, and people go, oh, people still watch crap. Look, for me, I do videos, I set it and forget it, man, and I try to do as much as I can without doing the drama stuff, and that's what I do, man. I like to have fun with it. And hopefully you guys understand that, man. I do appreciate especially the hardcore guys. You guys hear every every time I do this. Yeah, stole crap shtick in some ways. That's exactly it. Hey, hit that like button. Please hit that please hit that like button, share it out. Let's see. What do we got here? Mojo, let's see. Well, I mean, listen. I here's the thing. I don't really care about other people in the YouTube thing, right? Like they can do their own thing. That's my main point. Is a lot of people bring this up in the chat and just in general how I feel about certain people. I don't feel any way about certain people, right? I don't think about them. I know a lot of things, right? Because I know that there's that dark side to YouTube where there's all this backstabbing and stuff like that, and it goes on. But I feel like for me to, but it's not. Some of that stuff's just not my business. I don't care. Let's see what else we got. I got some more questions. You can have fun and have fun. Yeah, exactly, man. It's just no. Here's the thing, Penguin. I sourced it. That was a mistake on my part. It was late. I was trying to get home to my lady. I didn't put it in. I put it in there later, right? The thing that I would say is, if I forget to do that, or if it's a source that is a friend of mine and I can't put them out there, their names out there, what business is it of anybody else's, right? Like, how does that affect somebody else's channel? Is there an authority figure in the community, right? Like, are they the authority figure over me? Are they my boss? Can they come in my kitchen and tell me how to cook my favorite meal, or correct me if I'm like, tell me how to train dogs right or how to save a dog right? Like, at what point does the ego become so big that you think you have the right to, I guess, kind of do that? And do you do that to just me, or do you have that same kind of energy towards every single YouTuber that forgets to put a link, or that covers a rumor and forgets to mention that? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do you do that, right? That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking. If you, I'm never going to do that to people. So that's what you get here, man. And hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. So Johnny Podcast, man, I like doing Johnny Podcast. Like I said, doing different characters in video games or in YouTube gaming is a lot of fun. I like doing that. I just think it's just a lot of fun for me. Like I said, I like wrestling. And so for me, pro wrestling is just a lot of fun. Hold on. Entire Microsoft E3 press conference leak includes next gen Xbox Fable. Oh man, the finest just sent me some nice stuff here. Hold on. Let's see. What do we got here? hmm. Everything you need to know ahead of E3. Is this is that the leak? Yeah, I'm gonna look at this because wow, that's pretty interesting stuff. Well, listen, I think that, like I said, Microsoft's E3 is going to be incredible. They have a lot of stuff planned for it. I really wish that Sony was back at E3, to be honest with you, simply because I feel like, I really feel like it's one of those things where we as gamers kind of lose out a bit without having that extra company there. And I would love to see Sony kind of show up and do their own thing as well. I'm gonna miss that. Let's see. The new harmonica. Yes, exactly. Let's see. I've been watching your vid since the beginning, seeing how much more professional you've become, as well as all your podcasts. Yeah, you know what? I really do think that I think that for when it comes to like doing like video game podcasts and stuff like that, long form is always my favorite. I like doing the longer videos. The problem is I don't really have a lot of I don't really have a lot of time to do them as much as I would like to, and I don't have a good internet, so I can't do exceptionally long videos with gameplay in the background. And if it's breaking news, unfortunately, everybody's going to cover it. So if it's usually something super breaking, I'll just use still photos and kind of flip through them so that I can get the video out instead of having to wait for that to upload, because sometimes that'll take an hour or longer, and I try to do that as well. So what do I think of AEW? Look, I'm looking forward to seeing some competition for WWE. I want to see what they can bring to the table. I like WWE tremendously. I know a lot of people are down on that product right now, but I really do enjoy it. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this link right now. Let's see. So thanks to the finest for sending this. Hold on to your seats, guys. Hit that like button. Entire Microsoft E3 press conference leaks, including next gen Xbox and Fable. I'm not going to be able to link this to till after, but hold on. If you guys want spoilers, stick around, hit the like button. So this leaker comes from an insider, apparently, who revealed all the games and announcements that will take place at Microsoft's E3 press conference. And he separated his information into what he knows definitely will be shown and stuff he's less sure about. So he believes the following announcements will for sure take place during Microsoft's E3 2019 press conference. Hold on to your butts, folks. Although this doesn't look too different than what I already said. Halo Infinite, new trailer, holiday release date. Gears 5, full gameplay reveal with September release date. Gears Tactics, new trailer with release date. Ori 2, trailer release date. Bleeding Edge, the new IP from Ninja Theory, will be a cross-gen sci-fi game. The Outer Worlds, new trailer and release date. Cyberpunk, new trailer and release window. Age of Empires 4, Fable Reboot, teased for next-gen Fable, but the game itself is exclusive to next-gen Xbox for release in 2021. That's new, and I'm not sure I believe that, because the Xbox One X is supposedly the lead platform on Playground Games' latest games, and there's a fact that you can look up where they announced that they're working with the Xbox One X to be the main console for their next open world RPG. They've already said that, so I don't know if I believe that part. Sea of Thieves new content, obvious. Battletoads gameplay and release date, obvious. Project xCloud info, next gen Xbox, baseline of specs, third-party games. Yes. So again, that's not tremendously surprising. Then he went on to say MechAssault, new MechAssault game reveal. We're getting more and more likely that that's going to happen. Forza Motorsport, tease for the next gen Forza. I don't know if they're going to tease that, considering they just started developing that new Capcom game, rumored to be Resident Evil 3 remake or the new Dino Crisis. We've been hearing a lot about Dino Crisis lately. I think that's something that could see some credence. The more where there's smoke, there's fire, and we're seeing more and more of this sort of happen. Hopefully we actually get to see what's going on there. Let's see. He also mentions, hold on, more Japanese developed games as well. Also, listen, he had some announcements that have a smaller chance. Next gen rare game, which we've heard they're working on a multiplayer game, like a multiplayer next gen game, which we might see something of. And then here's the one, Perfect Dark Reboot, in development with Rare supervising and some game studio acquisitions. Supposedly IO Interactive, Asobo, and Relic Entertainment. So again, that's the stuff that's rumored right now. I think it would be a pretty good one. If all that stuff happened, you're talking about possibly the best E3 maybe in the history of E3, right? I think it maybe was missing one new IP, and then that would be the case. But for me, what more can you ask for? Please, hey, everybody, hit that like button, share it out. Thanks to the finest man, one of the coolest people in the community, always sends me these great stories and stuff, and I like covering them, talking about the different things. I feel like this would be a really good E3. They're going to announce game studios. I know that for sure. I've heard that that's actually happening, and there's a new leak going around. I'm kind of looking into it. I've asked a couple people about it. Now, the things that would disappoint me with this particular list, Gears Tactics is a PC-only game. Age of Empires 4 is a PC-only game. Unless those games are announced to come to Xbox as well, those are a little bit disappointing because I don't play PC, and I feel like one of the things that still bugs me is the fact that Phil Spencer said Xbox will still get exclusives, PC will get exclusives where it makes sense. But every game so far that's come out and announced for Xbox ends up really being going to PC and everything as well. So I wouldn't mind playing Gears Tactics and Age of Empires on an Xbox with a controller. I don't care too much about the ability to play this stuff with a keyboard and mouse. That's not my bag. But a controller, absolutely. I'd love to kind of get in there and kind of play that and play it. AK Massifier, the reboot for Perfect Dark is third person though, right? I feel like and it looks like we got someone giving away some codes in the chat. I'm not sure if somebody gets that. Let me know. But there's a rumor of a new BioShock as well. So for me, anyway, the Perfect Dark reboot would be a third-person reboot where it's a much more gritty sort of action adventure. Think Tomb Raider. Think the new Tomb Raider game. I feel like that's what that would be like, and I feel like that's what we would end up getting. So hopefully, we get that, and hopefully that would be something that continues to show up. If you guys don't mind, please like this and share it out. Get some more people in here because I do got some more stuff I want to talk about. Perfect Dark is Perfect Dark, according to LG Nemesis. I don't care if it's for first-person shooter or third-person shooter. I'll take it. Yes, I agree 100%. I love Perfect Dark. Joanna Dark is a great character. I think that, I think that it's about time that we get her back. 15 years. That's a long time. And I feel like, hey, Xbot, what's up, man? True Witty says, crap, what do you think of Money in the Bank? I like Money in the Bank, but Brock Lesnar, are you serious? Like, that didn't really, AK Massifier says, fits Microsoft's inclusion, having a female protagonist. Listen, here's the thing. I don't like the inclusion aspect. If you're going to outright change something, right? Like if Master Chief is suddenly Mrs. Chief, then I think that's the wrong way to go about it. But Joanna Dark has always been Joanna Dark, and she's always been a female protagonist. So I have no problem with that. I think that's fine, to be completely honest with you. Next doc says, as a hardcore Gears fan, Gears Tactics hurts. I want it on console with controller input. It's no difference than XCOM. I agree. Why the hell can't you put that in there, right? I would love to be able to see to play Gears Tactics and stuff like that with my controller. Same thing with Age of Empires, because I was one of the few people that really, really liked Halo Wars 2. And I think you can do those games very well with a controller. I don't want to mess with a keyboard and mouse. I think that's my main thing. Sofa King says, are they going to still have her in a black leather tights, or is she going to be wearing a heavy coat and baggy jeans? I don't know, man. If they're smart, they let you dress her, like have different outfits that you can unlock or whatever. The Boldly Beaver got a code from John. Thank you. What did you get, Boldly? What did you get, man? Did you get? He's dropping codes, man. John, appreciate it, man. Guys, man, thank you, John. I really do appreciate it. Like the game or like the video, shared out. I would appreciate that as well. So for me, with this particular leak, I feel like the MechAssault game would make a ton of sense. I want to see that happen. I think a lot of other people want to see that happen as well. Main reason being is it's just one of those games that a lot of people associate with a good time. Same thing with, I think, Perfect Dark, right? A simpler time. The Finest says, crap, listen, if all these rumors are true, the best Microsoft E3 ever. I agree. I think that it's a great one. Mojo Blue says, with Cyberpunk being first person, we definitely need a Perfect Dark third person. Agree 100%. AK Massifier says, I want new IP, not recycled games that weren't that great when we played it 2 generations ago. Listen, AK, I would say that there's a good chance that Microsoft can totally reboot some of these games and they would be better than something new, right? So if you look at God of War, how they changed that from God of War Ascension to the new one, that's what I'm talking about. That type of reboot, that intense of a reboot, you could definitely pull that off, and I think that that's exactly what they could do. What are my thoughts on a spinoff to the Halo series, Cortana being the main protagonist? Hint, hint. I mean, she's a hologram. How could she be a main protagonist unless they like uploaded her into some sort of robotic body or something like that? I don't know. I agree, Xbot. I want to see. I'm very interested to see what they do with the actual Halo, with the Halo IP. This with Halo Infinite, I am super excited by that. I want to see what they do. I love what Microsoft has done by allowing them to have a huge budget and do that kind of stuff. So for me, I think it's going to all come down to how they pull it off, what they change. What is it going to be more like Destiny? I hope it's not like Destiny. I'm not a huge Destiny fan. I know Xbot is. I don't want like XCloud. I get it. I'm not interested in it. But Mecha, I wouldn't even mind if they tease a next gen Forza. I just am not sure that they can do that or it makes sense because I still think we're going to get that other Forza Horizon 4 DLC announced as well. They did that. E105 says they did that with Kate and Gears. But here's the thing. If you look at Kate and Gears, she has the family lineage of the Locust Queen, right? So you can understand them kind of going that way. I just think that I'm going to wait and see on that one. So it could be that that's what they're doing. They're waiting to see how that sort of pans out. Hopefully it works out well. I'm like Gears is my favorite Xbox franchise. I like Halo as well. I like Halo single player, but I like Gears single player and multiplayer. I like the Halo multiplayer. I just suck something fierce at it, man. I am the worst at that Halo multiplayer. I mean, Xbox will tell you, man. I have fun with it, but I am just horrible at it. And that's that's just it. You know what I mean? I'm not really great at it. Sofa King says, "Yo, crap. Do you think Xbox need to make a AAA Sasquatch game?" I don't know. I don't think they need to do that. I think Sony's got that on lockdown. So yeah, Xbox is not getting a Gears of War caliber game. I don't know, man. It depends. It might not be a hack and slash, but I think Halo and Gears will be. Let's see. The new Sea of Thieves DLC will be called Captain Crap. Captain Crap in this podcast on Mondays is called Crappy Mondays. Crappy Mondays. I like doing this. This is, I think, the 3rd week in a row I've done one on Monday where I just kind of come in here and talk with you guys. And I like doing it, man. I like doing it. Crap, have you heard of Master Chief Collection on Switch? Because if it's true, I'm boycotting Xbox Next Gen. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not sure if that's a thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think that they would directly put Halo on the Switch. I'm not sure, man. I'm not like, here's the thing. this new Sony deal proves to me that Sony can work with Microsoft and will work with Microsoft. And I've got a feeling that we could see Game Pass on some other platforms eventually. But I think that Microsoft is still going to make their own incredibly powerful hardware. So I got a little song I'm going to play for you guys, and it's the Master Chief Collection on Switch Blues. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know that you could get that on the Switch to where it could look halfway decent, you know? To be honest with you guys, I don't know that it would be happening. Like I'd heard, remember I reported on it that it looked like that Forza Street game would go to the Switch, and then here it goes. You know, it looks like that's going to happen. But other than that, I don't see like the big exclusives going on the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't really make sense, at least anytime soon, you know. AK Massifier says, dude, don't ever doubt Phil's willingness to put Xbox games everywhere while not bring anything new to his consoles. Oh, I don't, man. I don't doubt that at all. I think that, you know, we continue to see that going forward as well. I just feel like, you know, that's one of those things that we're going to continue to see with Phil. That's Phil. You know, he likes to put his games everywhere. He likes to play his games while he's on the toilet, likes to play his games while he's making himself the sandwich, likes to play his game in the car, likes to play his game while he's jogging. Wherever he can put his games, man, he puts them there and he plays. You know, that's just the way Phil Spencer is. So hopefully, you know, hopefully we see some new stuff and Phil realizes that us console gamers are worthy. As Thor would say, you know, we're still worthy. We're us console gamers are we're fat Thor, right? Are we worthy? I don't know. You know, can we still wield the hammer? I'm not sure. Hopefully he finds us worthy and we're able to do that. So I would hope so anyway. You know, I feel like we deserve some new stuff and we haven't gotten anything new in a while, and Phil knows that. So hopefully we will see that, and we will see that happening. 9 Lives looks like he's dropping something in the chat as well. If you guys want to check, if you guys want to check that out. Oh, dude, next up, Wembley Stadium. I'm there, man. Yeah, like the video, guys. I really would appreciate it. Hey, you know what's gonna be funny is, like I said, I'm not gonna be around much tomorrow. It's my fiance's birthday, so you know we've got some plans and stuff, and you know, I think that Wednesday, though, is going to be a really good show because I'm hearing that there's going to be some new news that's leaking out or that's coming out this week, more than just like this stuff that's coming out right now. And I'm hearing there's going to be some pretty big stuff. So keep that in mind as we kind of go forward. And you know, I got to say, I'm loving these rumors and these leaks and these things that are coming out because it really just goes to show you that Microsoft, if these are true in any one of them, and here's the thing, the more you hear of you know, the same ones, the probability of that happening is actually raised that much more. And I feel like we're going to continue to see that happen. Basically what I mean is the more we hear about a MechAssault game, the more it's going to happen. I've been hearing about a Perfect Dark game for going on 2 years now. So I feel like that's something that's almost a sure bet. I've heard from a couple different people in that one. MechAssault, Perfect Dark Reboot as a third person, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm very excited to see how this kind of works out. I want to be so disgustingly happy with Xbox E3 that people are like, man, that Crapgamer, he sure is an Xbot, right? Like, and I would be equally happy if Sony did something, man. I just am to the point in my life where I'm enjoying gaming when I actually get the chance to do it. And you know, of course, I have been playing a little bit more PlayStation lately, just because, you know, like I've been, you know, there's some games and the VR and stuff like that. But you know, I can't really. Oh, I would love to open Microsoft's E3 conference with a harmonica solo. So there's codes everywhere. Next Doc says, if Phil wants to put games everywhere, then no double standards, Gears Tactics. That's my point, Doc, right? When people get pissed off at me saying, hey, well, crap, it's okay. I don't care if Xbox has exclusives, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm like, well, it's great. Okay, put our games everywhere. but why aren't we getting Gears Tactics or Age of Empires or, Minecraft Dungeons? Why aren't we getting these type of games? Like, that would be my thing. So, Sofa King says, Crap, do you think Sony will show up on the Xbox stage and talk about the partnership? No, I kind of doubt it. Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, we're peasants. I feel that way sometimes, man. Perfect Dark, Stress AK says Perfect Dark on the N64 was good, but nowhere near the almighty GoldenEye. Funny thing, right? So Perfect Dark was going to be a sequel to GoldenEye, but they didn't have the rights anymore, so they switched it around. That was actually going to be like a sequel to it. So I always find that to be kind of funny when I read that, like, holy crap, that's actually pretty damn good, pretty amazing that that's actually happened. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit too, because I don't know if you guys heard this. I find this funny because back in 2013, this was so unfunny. PlayStation Productions founded to adapt Sony's video games for IPs in cinema and TV. So, yeah, that's very interesting. So Marvel, it's very interesting. So basically, in a story published today, The Hollywood Reporter, Sony Entertainment has now established a PlayStation production studio that will be dedicated to the adaptation of the company's catalog of video game properties for cinema and television. The studio is located at Sony Pictures in Culver City, California, is going to be overseen by Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studio Chairman Sean Layden. For the last... okay, so Marvel once again pops in the words of Sean Layden as an example to follow, albeit a lofty one for sure. We've got 25 games or 25 years of game development experience, and that's created 25 years of great games, franchises, and stories. We feel that now is a good time to look at other media opportunities across streaming or film or television to give our world's life in another spectrum. We looked at what Marvel has done and taken the world of comic books and make it into the biggest thing in the film world. It would be a lofty goal to say we're following in their footsteps, but certainly we're taking inspiration from that. You can see just by watching older video game adaptations that the screenwriter or director didn't understand that world or the gaming thing. The real challenge is, how do you take 80 hours of gameplay and make it into the movie? The answer is you don't. What you do is you take the ethos you write from the specifically of the film audience. You don't try to retell the game in a movie. So it looks like they're going to be doing, I wouldn't doubt that they do their own streaming type service as well, where they do like mini series. Like, to me, video games always seem to be better adapted to like a TV miniseries or something, sort of like The Witcher is going to be doing, rather than a 2.5 hour movie. So that's a little bit weird to me. Just one of those things to kind of, I find a little bit funny because everybody hated on the whole TV aspect. And now it looks like TV is like perfectly fine and acceptable, and everybody loves it, So hopefully we get a little bit of a idea of what's going on there, and it's something that I don't know. I think it could be cool, because I got to be honest, I always wondered, why isn't there more adaptations for TV and movies in the video game world? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense that we haven't been able to see that, and I would absolutely love to see that in the future. So for me, it makes, because you can control your own stuff. Like, I'm excited to see some of the Halo, like the Halo TV series. That's something I've always wanted to see, and so hopefully that happens. So I'm very excited by this, and hopefully you guys are too. You know what I mean? Let's see. What else do we got? I want to answer some more questions here. Crap. Let's see. Sony talk about the last CES. 2018 was talking about making Spider-Verse into a TV show. I like that Spider-Verse show. Rich of Cucumber Eater USA says, Crap, do you think PS5 games will be everywhere? I think PS5 games will be on PS Now, and I think PS Now is going to work on computers and mobile phones. So in essence, yes, but you will not see you won't see like PlayStation 5 games on like Xbox or Nintendo, in my opinion. Is Crap going to be doing a live show for E3? Sofa King, me and me and Mooch and Sully, we're gonna be covering E3 all day long, right? We're gonna do pre-show, during show, after show, analysis, all that kind of stuff. We damn well will be covering E3 all day long, and hopefully, we're working on some bits and stuff right now. It's gonna be an M&C type thing. Usually, I'd be doing like a BGST type thing, but that you guys know I'm no longer part of that show. So all the efforts go into like an M&C thing. We've got some skits and bits that we planned. Hopefully we're going to be able to do some call-ins that day as well, so we can get some of your guys' reactions, because I think that would be key to what's going to be going on. What did I think of the Game of Thrones endings? I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I don't know. Demon says, crap, have you seen the leaked Fortnite Xbox One S Verdicts bundle with a custom console and controller? That would have been a perfect time to do it with the Xbox One SAT edition. Yeah, you know what? The SAT edition to me needs something like this, and I feel like this is a dropped opportunity for Microsoft. I honestly do not know who the hell would be disliking this video. I have not talked bad about anything really. But hit the like button either way, man. I don't understand the continued. I think people just see a video and they just hit dislike. They don't even care to listen. But yeah, and there will be codes on E3 from Bowley Beaver. Thank you. Maybe we get Yobi in here. I know he's got some codes, usually got some cool stuff to kind of drop for us and stuff like that. I'm super excited. I am. This stuff really has me excited about what Microsoft are going to be doing. You know what I mean? I'm super excited by this. I really am. I can't believe that we are so close to E3, and it's one of those things where, I think that we often can get overhyped, and that happens to me a lot. I get overhyped about what's going to happen for E3 and Microsoft's events, but I do feel like this one in particular, Microsoft is going to do a good job with, because they have to, and they realize that, right? You have no Sony there. You have to be able to do your own thing. You have to be able to showcase a reason for people to be invested into into what's going on. That's just my opinion. You have to be able to do that. So let's see, going to answer a few more questions. Let's see. I doubt first party exclusives will be on PS Now the day they release. Sony doesn't want to devalue their hardware. You could be right. I think you're probably right, but I do feel like what happens is, if you own a game digitally on PlayStation 5, you'll be able to take it with you. I don't know if it's going to be in PS Now, but I do think you'll be able to take your game with you on your phone or tablet or whatever. Next Doc says, crap, did you hear that PlayStation Division didn't hear about Sony and Microsoft's partnership until it was done and they panicked? What do you think about it? I think there was some kind of late night deal, and some people probably aren't happy with it, because if you look at what PlayStation does, they very much like to stick at the Microsoft, and now they can't stick at the Microsoft. So Walter says, with all the studios Microsoft is acquiring, which studio do you think they would close or let go? I hope none. They need all the studios they can get. They need all of them. Rich of Cucumber says, I think for now, Sony will be testing the waters and putting every PS4 game on PS Now and next gen, and PS5 will have its exclusives as they're dominating the console market. Do you agree? Yeah, I think you'll see PS5 exclusives stay on that console, but I will reiterate, I've heard from PlayStation MVPs that are testing their streaming service through the phones and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if you own a game digitally on the PlayStation 5 that you can play it on a mobile device too, if you already own it. But I do not think that they're going to put them day and date on PlayStation Now. I don't think that's happening. Let's see. Hellheimer keeps hitting the thumbs down. Yeah, I guess so, man. It's weird. Can't be disappointed with E3 if you have no expectations. I wish I had no expectations, man. I wish. Wayne Andrews says, I'm excited for Microsoft at E3. Hold on. Then he deleted the comment. So are Sony and Microsoft in competition anymore? I don't know. I think that they are somewhat. I'm just not sure that that it's going to be this competition that we're used to be honest with you. I feel like what we're seeing is a sort of a evolution of that. I feel like Sony and even Jack Tretton, maybe you guys remember him, the former Sony head. Even Jack Tretton has said that Sony's in a good position to win next gen, but they're going to face much tougher competition. And I kind of agree with that. I think that it's going to be tough competition, but I do feel like that they do have a chance to kind of pull some things off. With their games speak for themselves. Like, there's no denying that. Anybody that knows me knows that I have no problem giving them even the smaller games like Until Dawn. I freaking love that game. Ratchet and Clank was awesome. I'm very excited by what the future holds, and I really hope that you guys, if you've left Xbox, even if you're not an Xbox fan, gaming is gaming, right? And you should be able to get excited by something, even if it's not your particular platform. What Microsoft is doing, it sounds pretty good. If these leaks are legit, who could be unexcited by that, right? We're getting some new stuff. We're getting reboots of old stuff, reinvestments and stuff. Like Halo is going to be totally different. This is going to be like a completely new type of Halo that's looking to the past. The longest development cycle for a Halo. Gears, they're changing that up. A new protagonist takes the lead. Open, bigger worlds. You got the new vehicles, the skiff or whatever that is. Like, things are changing at Microsoft. I realize that there's going to take a little bit of time. I'm still excited, and I think this E3 is going to be great. Now, if this E3 sucks, holy crap, I'll be the first to say, hey, this E3 really, really sucked, but I hope that it doesn't. I hope and I feel that it's going to be really, really good. Is Cyberpunk coming this year? If I had to bet, I would say Cyberpunk is not coming this year. Starbreeze might be going out of business, according to Pumpkin Queen. Are they the one? What do they make? Didn't they get crowdfunding for their game? I'm not really sure. I'm not too up to date on what they do. Be sure more crossplay will be coming with Sony and Microsoft having the Azure infrastructure. Could be. I mean, we could be seeing more of that. The last few years is kind of new. E3 wouldn't be a blinder. This is the first year I'm expecting something big. Greg, E3. My thoughts exactly. Sony dropped the ball a little bit at E3 the past couple of years. I felt like they kind of phoned it in, right? With that being said, it was easy for Microsoft to quote unquote win, in my opinion. They didn't have to show a whole lot, and they showed a lot of games that we could play. Yeah, there was a lot of third-party stuff, but Sony was only showing they almost did the same E3 back to back and only showed like 12 things, So it was easy for Microsoft to win. This year, they have to really go out of their way and nail it and just kind of do a good job of getting their games out there for everybody. And it has to be a good mix of third-party stuff and exclusives. And I think we're going to get that. And hopefully they continue to do that every E3 from here on out. They know it's about the games. They 100% know it's about the games. We're closing in on 150 likes, man, and women. I would appreciate it if we could get there. That would be amazing. I've been enjoying the hell out of this podcast. I enjoy doing it. You guys want to see me do it every Monday? We can call it Crappy Mondays or something like that, because Mondays seem to be a day when I have more time to do this kind of thing. Just me, maybe once in a while I'll bring a guest, but if you'd like to see that, hit the like button. Where I can interact with you guys, answer questions, all that kind of stuff. Rich says, do you think Anaconda is more powerful than PS5? Have you heard any inside sources about that? I've heard from a couple people that, yes, the Anaconda is more powerful than the PS5, but I also heard that means it's more expensive. So they made Payday 2 and The Walking Dead. Yeah, damn. So they haven't made anything tremendous, because didn't they cancel that Walking Dead game? So I can kind of understand that, but that's always sad when that kind of stuff happens. Microsoft's E3 always sucked. PS3 E3s were home runs. Dual purpose. You're lying to yourself. I've liked some Sony E3s, but let's be real. The E3 with the flute guy and the banjo guy was horrible. They showed exactly the same stuff that we saw the previous E3, but even less of it. So yeah, like, I think that's unfortunate. Like, I'm just being real with you, right? Like, there's no way that they won that E3. Yes, Crap Mondays. Let's go. Do you think Perfect Dark will be a rebuild of the original game or something new? It's supposedly a dark reboot, right? That's what they call it, a dark, gritty reboot. It's going to be a reboot in third person. Think Tomb Raider, right? Like how that's gritty and more realistic. I think that's what we're going to be seeing, right? Something like that. maybe sort of like that Shanghai type situation, like a cross between what I originally had heard, and I've been talking about this reboot for over a year and a half, and you can go back and check it out. So what I had originally heard was first of all, I had originally heard that the Coalition was helping with this game since it was going to be third person. So I had mentioned that it would be third person, but I had also heard that what they were looking to do was do something real gritty and sort of do their own sort of Tomb Raider, quote unquote, where it's like espionage, spy versus spy, and it'd be a cross between like Splinter Cell and Tomb Raider. And to me, that sounded pretty damn good, especially since we haven't had a Splinter Cell this generation. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they have up their sleeves, and if we can get it sooner rather than later, because I feel like what Microsoft has done recently hasn't been that impressive, and I just want to see them do something AAA wise that's not Halo, Gears, or Forza that really can be impressive. Pumpkin Queen says, think they should be picked up by Microsoft. Well, they aren't really quality in my opinion, right? Like, I just don't really feel like they're a huge quality studio, so I'm not really sure. Nintendo Switch outsold PlayStation 4 in Japan. Yeah, that surprised me. I gotta be honest. LG Nemesis says nobody but gamers win E3. We go through this every year. I disagree. I do think that we as gamers, as fans of certain platforms more than others, if they're in competition with each other, that's better for us as fans because we get more and more games shown. So, no, we need a new Conquer game. Here's the thing with Conquer. Where does Conquer fit in today's PC world? And what I mean by PC is politically correct, right? Like, where does Conquer fit in with Microsoft's new moral? Like, I don't see where Conquer would fit in with that stuff. So I don't see that happening. Here's hoping Crytek shows up. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, Joanna Dark has been gone far too long. Dual purpose. You say you're sorry Microsoft's E3 sucked. They show multi-plat, so they don't count. And their exclusive offerings sucked. Sony showed exclusives and better titles. Well, at what point is it acceptable, dual purpose, to show the same titles back to back to back? Because we saw Spider-Man and some of those other games at multiple E3s, right? And when you only show 4 games and you've seen those games at the previous E3, I think that takes something away from it, my friend. So I respect your opinion 100%, but I disagree 100%. I feel like Microsoft had a really good E3, maybe not exclusive wise, but they tried to mix it up. They added some indies that looked interesting. They had some of those new. They showed off Halo Infinite, that new trailer. I think that looked really good. Gears. I feel like they're doing a lot right. And I know that, if you're a Sony fan, I get it, man. But I just think that Sony kind of phoned it in the last couple of years, and that's just my opinion. Hopefully they come out next year when they're about to release the PS5 and knock us dead. I feel like they will. I feel like we're going to get like God of War, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and some new stuff as well announced. And they'll be back, man. That's why I say Microsoft has to do it big this year. They have to do it big this year. Let's see. Character Creation says, remember how a lot of those games were leaked for E3 2018? Do you think it'll be the same this E3? I think that was too early for last year. So, yeah. Competition equals low prices, more content, new technology. Agree 100%. Tell you what, crap. I would love to see a new Fear game come out. That would be nice. I haven't seen a Fear game. When was the last one that came out? Holy crap. It's been a while. It's been a long damn time. The only true good game Rare made for Microsoft was Cameo, and I'm still waiting for a sequel, but of course they're more focused on Sea of Thieves. T-Bobo, did you know that Don Matrick canceled a Cameo 2, right? Like there's some footage floating around on YouTube, I believe, of Cameo 2. So yeah, they actually canceled that. No, it's cool, dual purpose, man. No disrespect. I'm just saying I think that showing the same games back to back E3, yeah. Just AK Massifier says crap. 70 Trans Am, 69 Charger, 70 Camaro. Camaro. I'm a Camaro guy, like 100%, man. The first car that I ever saved up and bought myself was a a 1985 Z28. Yeah. So yeah, I've been a Camaro guy. Whenever I play Forza, man, Camaro, man, all the damn time. Um, Dog of War says exclusives make a platform unique, interesting, and worth owning. You're 100% right. If we didn't have exclusives, then what do we have, right? Like, there's no reason to get these consoles separately. So, love or hate it, Sea of Thieves is the absolute most original and unique game this generation on any platform. Mojo Blues, I am in the middle of coming up with some notes to re-review Sea of Thieves after the first year update, and I can't agree more. I don't really see it. Even if it's not your bag, you can't hate on it for lack of content anymore. Like, that totally has gone out the window. It's just an amazing game. I played it with Mooch and Xbot and the Don the other night, and it was just a blast. We had an absolutely fantastic time. Um, I can't believe how good that game is. Just so good, so good. No, mine wasn't a T-top, which is odd because I'm in Florida, but it did have AC. It was yeah, I love that car, man. I had true dual exhaust on that thing, and it was blue, and it was nice, man. The interior was super sweet. The thing was loud, fast. Yeah. Uh Exclusives in a traditional way is ending soon. More Cloud Tech USA says. You're not wrong with that. Hey, everybody hit that like button. Because I think you're going to be able to do stuff. But again, I think platform wise, we're going to be able to see that you're not going to be able to play a PlayStation game on an Xbox or a Nintendo, or a Nintendo exclusive on a Xbox or a PlayStation. Maybe Microsoft wants to do all that stuff, but I still feel that Sony needs to sell hardware to be relevant, and I think they're going to continue to do that. I think they will. It's one of those things where we're going to see them continue to evolve and do that. If you guys are just joining me, I really do appreciate it. There was a bunch of interesting news and rumors today. A new MechAssault at E3 supposedly leaked out as well. A new Perfect Dark Reboot that supposedly come out. The entire E3, anybody could have guessed this E3, to be honest with you, the one that leaked, because the only differences is they took a few like bold predictions, which were Perfect Dark Reboot, the next gen rare game, MechAssault, Dino Crisis. We've been hearing about these for a little while now. So Dino Crisis wouldn't be exclusive, by the way. It would just be one of those games that that we see come out on the platform. So people have to keep that in mind as we go forward as well. I really do think that Microsoft is doing some cool stuff, and I'm excited to see what they do with this E3. We just have to wait a little bit longer. We're almost there, folks, and I think it's gonna be a good time. How many times did Sony show The Last of Us 2 at E3? Last E3, I think, was the first time they showed it, but they but they did show it at the year before, though. I don't understand what happened to the platform and turn-based RPGs. Wasn't I think they I think they did wasn't one of those South Park games one of those? Because I thought that was really, hey, I like multiplats too, LG Nemesis. I think that's really good. Hold on. Lanesville Paul says, guys, best E3 in a row. Still not making Xbox winning NPDs. Stop it, guys. Come on. Hey, Microsoft isn't winning NPDs, but if you look at what they're doing, they're setting themselves up to, no matter who wins the NPDs, they win, right? And that's not damage controlling, because I think it's weird too. But just look at what they're doing, right? Like Azure, Nintendo, and Sony are both going to be using that for their games. Havoc Engine, both of them sell Minecraft, which Minecraft just hit a new milestone. So all these companies that are using Microsoft's products and putting out, Microsoft makes money on all that stuff. So no matter who wins, Microsoft wins. That's why, like I say, like the console war stuff is over. And kind of, I can close out a little bit with the console wars are over blues, if you guys would bear with me here real quick. So I still got it till Mooch comes and breaks this damn thing. Console wars long over. Sony will continue to sell the most consoles, but it won't matter. It won't matter because it's all about the content, and it's all about like doing having the best games out there. And as far as I'm concerned, both Microsoft and Sony will have incredible games, and it's going to be very fun to see how these platforms continue to evolve. Yes, they're going to evolve. Yes, we're going to be able to play some stuff on if we're going to be able to play some stuff on a phone or a tablet or whatever. But that's just convenience, I think. I guess. I don't know. That does seem like a bit of a convenience that some people might like. Maybe not me, but at the end of the day, it's not all about me. And I think that's something that a lot of people should take into consideration as well. I'm not the only consumer. You're not the only consumer. It's like, I guess, as a whole type thing. So we have to keep that in mind going forward. I'm going to answer some more questions. He says, let's see, Demon says, crap, not trying to go off topic, but do you think you'll check out AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view or its weekly show? I'll check out the weekly showings, but I heard that pay-per-view is like $50, man. That's why I like WWE Network, because all those are just included in the $10 monthly thing. So, Print Plays, you make a good point. He says, you fools don't understand that Microsoft don't care. PlayStation can sell how many consoles they want and still won't win. That's exactly how it is. Mojo Blue says, fam, crap, I was typing that very thing, and you beat me to it. They don't need to win NPDs. They're releasing great consoles and now have the games to back it up. Yeah, the games will come. I think that we do need some more announcements there, and we're going to get those at E3, so I'm excited by that as well. Speaking of like AEW, I'm not like a WWE hater, man. Like, you won't find me going, oh, I hate the WWE. I actually watched SmackDown and Raw and all their pay-per-views. I thought Money in the Bank was great. The competition is needed, though, right? Just like back in the day, man, we had WCW versus WWE. I think that this will be good for them. They got some good talent there. You got like Jericho and Young Bucks and stuff like that, Hangman Page. So I think that they've got a good setup that can be a good competitive thing, or a complimentary thing, because it's airing on a different night. Like SmackDown moves to Fridays and AEW takes Tuesdays, which is where SmackDown was. So realistically, you just get an extra day of different wrestling. And you got Jim Ross announcing. What can go wrong there? The Finest says Xbox head Phil Spencer addresses toxicity in gaming and outlines a plan to combat it. Oh man, I hope it's not them banning a lot of people. What's up with Sasha Banks? I heard Sasha Banks was not happy with her situation and losing the belts or whatever. New Killer Instinct 2 made by NetherRealm Studios would be great, and knowing that Ed Boon is a big fan of Killer Instinct, what do you think? I think that NetherRealms is owned by WB, but I like where you're going. I would think if they do make a Killer Instinct 2, it'd be great if they had some of those characters from Mortal Kombat in there as like a guest star or whatever. I think that would be awesome. AK Massifier says, crap, what's up with Call of Duty? Sounds like a cluster over there with Sledgehammer. Yeah, Sledgehammer dropped the ball. Looks like next year's is going to be Black Ops 5, which is weird. New Killer Instinct. Let's see. Perfect Dark Reboot, developed by Delilah Studios, developed and supervised by Rare. That's the room. Actually, their first game, Purple Rain, might be Battletoads. So apparently, they might be doing multiple games there, and I think that's. I don't really have a problem with that. Next Doc says, what do you think of the legitimacy of this IO Interactive acquisition? I think it makes sense because you could do, like, I thought it made sense before because they could do episodic content from Microsoft, right? Like that story-driven episodic content that a lot of people are kind of after. I feel like that's something that they would be very good at, and we could see that happen sooner rather than later. And it's a good sense of a fit there for me, in my opinion. So I think that does make a lot of damn sense. Will there ever be a new Project Golf? You mean Project Gotham racing game? No. Basically, what I think is Project Gotham got kind of transitioned into the Forza Horizon series, right? And it's sort of a spiritual successor. I like Project Gotham, but I feel like you would need another studio. Don't let Playground or Turn 10 do that game. Let somebody else do it. Yeah, Chaos Theory still live. Wrapping up here soon though. I'm taking some questions now. If you guys have some more questions, T Bobo says WCW had all the good wrestlers. I love. Like when they did NWO and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was just pretty badass. Sully just got in from work. What's up, my friend? Glad to see you here. Man, we had a good time last week, man. Looking forward to doing this stuff. More Cloud Tech USA says Crapgamer. I'm predicting Turtle Rock Studios and House Marquee. Hey, I've heard Turtle Rock before, but I haven't heard House Marquee. What have they made? AK Mastifier says, thanks for hanging out. Like my boy Joe Dirt says, keep on keeping on. Dude, life's a garden. Dig it. That's kind of my my motto, man. Listen, I've taken my fair share of crap and it's fine. I keep on plugging, it's gonna, as long as I got one person watching, I'm good, man. I can get even if that person stops watching, I still got an outlet for my creativity. And I think that's a very important thing as well, just kind of going forward. I enjoy getting my opinion out there, no matter what. Crap, who's your all-time favorite tag team? You like the Rockers all the way. You know what? If I had to say my all-time favorite tag team, this is probably kind of lame. I really like the Superpowers or the Mega Powers with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan back in the day. Like that to me was just like this ultimate tag team. And I just thought they were so cool when I was just this little kid and you see these dudes like team up and they were like two of my favorite wrestlers. And I just thought that was awesome. Do you think Microsoft will acquire Ready at Dawn? I've heard that rumor for sure. Heart Foundation, that was another really good one. Jim the Anvil just passed away recently. Growing up, I loved Bret Hart. He was just such a hard worker and really good guy. So I really. But the funny thing is, I was a big Bret Hart fan, but I also, even as cocky as he was, man, Shawn Michaels was always someone that I liked watching in the ring as well. The Dudley Boys, they are great. Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, yeah, like the Four Horsemen and stuff like that. James says, crap, where do you belong, Xbox or PlayStation? I belong where there's games, man. I like them both. I'll critique them both. I don't want to do the over-the-top pro Xbox thing anymore. There's enough fake people out there doing that. I love the hell out of Xbox. I love PlayStation. Both can do better in different areas. So that's basically it. Yep. Well, give me some gaming questions, man, and I'll talk gaming. Crap, Avengers Project from Square Enix exclusive on Xbox PC. That would be great against PlayStation Spider-Man exclusive. Yeah, but unfortunately, I've already heard that's going to be a big game announcement. It's going to be multi-plat on PlayStation as well. Big Just says Xbox needs a sci-fi RPG exclusive after how bad Mass Effect was. I love Mass Effect. The last one I didn't hate the last one. I know a lot of people did. I actually liked the last one. I just felt like they could have done a better job with that. In my opinion anyway. Pumpkin Queen says Road Warriors. Next doc says the Acolytes. They were good. Damn. Man, Brad, I loved it, man. That was a great one. Good shit. Degeneration X. Oh, that was a really good one as well, man. Anytime you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels team up, great stuff. I like Mass Effect and Andromeda. Sully, I thought it was really good. People gave it a lot of crap simply because they had like these Google eyes or whatever. The story I don't think was as good as the previous ones, but I still thought it was a really good story. They, what could you have done? You couldn't have gotten away with continuing on with Shepard, with the way that ended. I just feel like that's something that that happens, so yeah. Let's see. I'll take a couple more. Bring back Project Gotham 4 HD Remastered. The problem with racing games, and I covered this during, I think, MNC yesterday, racing games have products in them, like songs and licenses, like cars, like Michelin, like all the different stuff that goes into a car. And that stuff ends after about 5 years. You usually sign 5-year deals with that. That's why you'll see a lot of times a racing game will get pulled from the digital marketplace after 5 years. It's happened in the Drive Club. It happened to Forza Horizon 1. I think it happened to some of the Forza Motorsport games. After so long, the products, you're no longer licensed to do that, so they don't show it. Will VR take off next gen? I hope it does more than it does this gen, but I think it's always going to be niche. So yeah. Mojo Blue says I have all systems, but my Xbox, my main system, 600 games, but I do have all the so-called bangers on physical for the PS4. Mojo, you and me are a lot of like because I have over 850 games on my Xbox One X, and most of them are digital. I think I have 150 physical Xbox One games, but most of them are digital. And on my PlayStation, I buy mostly physical for some reason. I don't know why. So it's just weird. Gadang says I did all my companion side quests and earned their loyalty in Andromeda. I don't know if I did all of them, but I did a lot of them. Mojo Blue says crap. 4K is 4K. Will faster load times and better frame rates be enough to jump for these new consoles? Look, that's the thing. We're not going to see a huge leap, I don't think, right away with the graphic. Like people talk about ray tracing, right? Like, oh, ray tracing. Like, is that something we can see, the average person can see and pick up on right away? I don't know. Well, like variable refresh rate. Who has a variable refresh rate TV right now? I don't know. So I think it'll really kind of depend. Microsoft haven't renewed the rights to Alan Wake. It's still unavailable in my region. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem too. Like, I don't think Phil is a big fan of Alan Wake. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that we haven't been able to see a new one. Plus, I heard they had a falling out with Remedy, so that makes a little bit of sense as well. Yuke's making a new wrestling game, not 2K. I'm excited by that. I buy all the 2K games. I know they don't change them around that much, but I genuinely enjoy the 2K wrestling games. I'm a big wrestling fan. As you guys can probably tell, I get pretty passionate with it. I'm excited by the opportunity. I think everything needs some competition. I think everybody needs something to help something to help push the other one a little bit more, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's exactly what that is. That's also like Sony versus Microsoft or however you want to look at it. Just in general, it's good to have some competition out there and to sort of do that. Let's see. But with PlayStation means nothing. The only games that are going to carry over is the ones that PlayStation games are not going to tell you. I don't know what that means. According to the developers, next-gen consoles are equal to high-end PCs. I think that's fine. It shouldn't be what Phil likes. I agree. I think it should be what everybody likes, to be honest with you. Let's see. Graphics still have a long way to go. I don't know. Like, if you're using forward compatibility, I'm not sure that works out as well as people would think. So, you can go to a pawn shop and buy good, fairly new disc games for $20. Yeah, that's true. Or under. I mean, I've seen, depending on what system, I see Xbox 360 games go for $5 and under. And, I know not many people still play 360 games, but there's still some really good ones there, in my opinion, anyway. So I definitely think that, just one of those things. Answer a couple more. Mooch, what's up? Stopping by to say what's up. Can't stay, but want to say great show, crap. Xbox Nation Wednesday night. Looking forward to it, man. I really appreciate it. Who's yelling? GTA 6 should be revisited. Vice City. I don't know, man. I've never really completed a GTA game. So I've been wanting to play GTA 5, but I just haven't. Alan Wake sold over 5 million, but that was pretty much after the fact. Great show, crap. I'm all for you doing the Monday show all the time. It's a very personal felt too. Yes, exactly. I definitely get that as well. Sully says I'm juggling so many games right now. Final Fantasy, The Division, State of Decay 2. I'm so sorry, Sully. State of Decay 2. World War Z, New Game Plus through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Hell yeah, dude. Next Doc says, remember when 1 million sales was considered a platinum hit? Weird that Rise, Son of Rome reached that at a terrible time in Xbox lifecycle and still can't get a sequel. I agree. It used to be 1 million was a huge thing, and now it's not. Now you need 5 million. Do you think Madden 20 is going to be different? I think it'll be good because pretty much a lot of the Maddens lately have been good. I don't know how different it'll be. Do you think we'll get Final Fantasy 14 ARR on Xbox with the new Sony deal? Possibly. I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope so. Yeah, we're going to be, I was telling them, Mooch, we're going to be covering E3 as MNC. We're going to be doing pre-show, during show, after show. We're working on some skits and some bits and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully people are excited by that and let us entertain them, because I feel like E3 should be more about, more than just, hey, Microsoft's E3, it was okay. They showed this game. and that game, and then they talked about xCloud, and then they did this, and then they showed that. It should be entertaining. You make some jokes, you have some bits. That's what it's all about, and hopefully you guys enjoy us as we cover the whole thing, the whole day. It's going to be fantastic. Do you really think Rockstar Games would agree to GTA 6 to be 1 month timed exclusive for PS5? I don't know. I don't think it's up to Rockstar. I think it's up to Take-Two, and I don't see that happening either anyway. So I don't really know. I don't think so. I'm gonna take one more question, and then I'm gonna play a little song for Mooch called "Crapgamer Still Has His Harmonica," and Mooch can't do anything about it. Yeah, there we go. I'll be watching your E3 coverage as I do most years. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much. xCloud presentation no longer than 5 minutes. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I think that, it'd be smart of them to not overdo the xCloud stuff because most of us, to be honest, don't really care. I feel like that's just probably not their, probably not the bag that they're going after or whatever. So, yeah, with that being said, man, I really appreciate you guys coming out. Crappy Mondays. Maybe it'll be a thing. Probably do it again, but Xbox Nation is a sure thing that I'm going to be doing this upcoming Wednesday with Mooch and company, man. We got a really good show. I don't know if you checked it out lately. It's very positive. There's not a lot of Xbox hate. We keep it real. We've got a lot of diverse opinions. Shady and Mooch go back and forth. We got Xbot, of course, and Foxy, and Predator, and Nox is a new character. He's in there, and he's got a strong opinion as well. Just a really fun time, man. We'd appreciate if you guys stop by, and also the MNC shows, and of course Crossfire, and support us. Thank you guys so much. Please hit the like button on your way out. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you next time. Rack 'em up. Later.